Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Oscar Trevor here, and joined by Thomas as always. And we are talking about The Hunger Games: The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I think I said the whole thing
I think
correctly.
that's right. Yeah.
And it is the prequel to the Hunger Games franchise, of which I like. I read all the books when I was younger. I liked them all. I watched all the movies. I enjoyed them to varying degrees. But this was rough. This is very rough.
Yeah, I mean, I come to it from, I think I've heard the audiobook of the first one. I certainly never read it. I think the first one's okay. The second one, and then they get progressively worse, and then they're eventually shit. This one's slightly better than
The
the
second one's
last
okay.
two.
I'm sorry. I'm doing good. The Catching Fire is the best one.
No,
But
I mean, people say that, and I think I completely disagree with it.
when people say that, I'm saying that.
I've heard other people posit this opinion, and I just shut it down. You're just wrong, unfortunately. The first one is better than the second one. I feel like I'm in the minority on that, which is
Yeah,
strange.
you also
Anyway.
thought Home Alone 2 is better than the first Home Alone, but we can move on.
No, I said that an argument. I said that is a consensus. Like, some people think that, and you seem shocked by this idea that some people
Because
genuinely
nobody
do.
does. But let's move on.
People do. I don't. I'm just saying that opinion exists. You can find a great number of people. Anyway, this film is rough, as you say. I'm not a fan of this franchise really in general. I'd say I sort of stomach it, but this one I was like, yeah, there's a lot wrong with it. There's stuff to like. It's not the worst blockbuster I've seen all year, but yeah, as a general opinion, it's a ropey film. There is not,
And
there's
that's
not
the
much.
thing. Like, I mean, I think that Rachel Zegler is giving a fine performance. I think Tom Blythe is not, but I like what Rachel Zegler is doing. I think that she's a good actress. I've liked her in other stuff more than this. I mean, she obviously has a ridiculously good voice. All of the singing stuff felt very weird to me.
Yeah, they felt out of place in the moments they were in. And
Yeah.
all the songs sounded the exact same. Like, I couldn't name you a song in this film. This is the problem. I couldn't actually name you a song.
Yeah.
They just all sort of sound the same, all blended into one, all really serve the same purpose. And if you're doing a musical, do a musical and have the different songs convey different emotions in different parts. Like, don't just do a sort of jukebox thing where you've got a character sing every so often. Like, I agree. I think Zegler's fine in this. I think Blythe is fine. I think that's the thing. These two characters and these two people, to sell a film on, I just don't know if they have the same star charisma as someone like Jennifer Lawrence who can sell the back of those films on. I just think they lack the sort of the presence, maybe. And as you say, I've seen Zegler be very good before. I just feel like it all felt a bit phoned in. And I actually think the best performances are from the more veteran actors. You get like Viola Davis, you get Peter Dinklage. I think they demonstrate
Jason Schwartzman.
Sort of
some of the writing
Jason
for Schwartzman is rough,
but he's still a nice
it.
presence. Yeah, exactly. And I think this really is a testament to their sort of raw star quality that they have, and those are the best moments of the film. It is when you have those people. There was a slight lack of chemistry, I felt, between Blythe and
I didn't think there was any chemistry at all.
I didn't. I was never sold on, like, I guess, are we doing spoilers? It's been out a long time now.
It's been out a couple days.
Yeah,
whatever.
like, I never understood.
Click away.
Yeah, I was never sold on his decision to go back. Like, it never made sense.
Yeah, it felt out of character to me.
Yeah, so I don't know. I felt like the performances were fine. There was nothing bad about them. They just kind of felt a bit phoned in.
Yeah, just a bit flat. But like, I don't know. It feels like two separate films. And I think that maybe, like, I've seen some people say, well, that's like intentional. It's supposed to be like jarring, but it's like, is it though? Because I feel like even if something's supposed to be jarring, it should be set up and backed by, like, some like thematic work done in the first half to make the second half feel like the jarringness of the second half feel earned. And I didn't get that at all. Like, none of this film feels earned. And like the Hunger Games stuff, because like, and that's the thing, the Hunger Games stuff is why we're, you're watching these movies. Those are always the most fun parts of the film, right?
Yeah.
And it just felt so like, I don't know. It wasn't giving me anything. It didn't go on any emotional ride. Like, the film is so weirdly paced to where it never takes a second with any singular moment. There'll be like a scene to convey a singular beat of the story, and then it just like bang moves on. And like you can never actually grasp anything that's going on or feel any of the emotions of something that's going on or go on any kind of emotional journey because it doesn't even give you the space to do so.
No, it does move at a very breakneck pace because it is a very vast story, as you say. Like, and I don't think the parts, because they split them up by parts, I don't think they all connect and they don't really
Yeah, could have
flow
just been
together. Like,
just make a trilogy. Like I don't like.
yeah, I mean potentially. I mean that could have been towards the end. I don't know if all. And that's the thing. I don't know if all the elements warranted their own film. Really, I
Right.
just think some of the elements needed to be cut. I think there is an idea that you can just cut elements that aren't necessarily that important. And yeah, I did appreciate that the games, and this is what I worried they were going to do, didn't sell you on the tension that who's going to win, because
Yeah, I did like that.
obviously fucking
Obviously,
Rachel,
it's gonna be
obviously
Lucy
Lucy
Gray.
Gray's
Like,
going to win. So
yeah.
I'm glad that they didn't do that and it didn't go down that
Yes.
avenue. But that's not really a positive of the film, because that's just sort of like
That's just stepping over the bar on the
that's just
floor.
stepping over. Yeah, exactly. So
I
don't know. It did feel a bit disconnected. I don't think there was a consistent sort of narrative through line that you was followed. Like, I guess you could argue it was a sort of relationship and Snow that.
I mean, you could say it's Tom Blythe is maybe the lead in a way.
But I think he's a very uninteresting lead. I don't think he's enough
like
to sell the
Rachel
film.
Zegler is a far more compelling and interesting character to be the lead.
I'd agree 100%.
And it really feels like she should have been the through line of it because Tom Blythe is just such a bland character.
But equally, the stuff with Lucy Gray, I also feel we've seen before. Like, it's not
Right,
like that's the
exactly.
exact plot of the first Hunger Games, where you find this girl from District 12, she's a bit rebellious, whatever, she wins the Hunger Games. So that's not even that necessary.
Right.
I just think you've got a lot of ideas. Some of them are slightly interesting, but the majority of them just fall a bit flat, feel a bit bland, and you're just layering sort of bland ideas.
I mean, and there's all the political stuff. And it's like, you have the militarization of police in small towns, and you have this big oppressive government going down in small, like oppressive, oppressing these group of people and things. And I can't speak words right now. I don't know why. But like, not that we should be comparing something like Hunger Games to a film like Killers of the Flower Moon. But like, even though we don't even agree about like, maybe the perspective that was taken with that, it's just such a far more like fleshed out understanding of, oppression and how that works. This felt, and I saw somebody compare this. I think it was Olive on Twitter, Olivia, and she was like, it's like, this is about oppression and stuff in the same way that like Star Wars is about oppression. Where it's like, you have the Empire and then you have the rebels, and it's like, sure, but it's incredibly surface level, right?
And I also think it feels very derivative. Like, we've seen all of these ideas explored exactly the same in not just the Hunger Games franchise, in other dystopian franchises, in other franchises, like you said, Star Wars,
sci-fi franchises,
very similar beats. It's not doing
and it
anything
isn't contributing anything
new.
No. And again, and even those beats that it's hitting, it moves so quickly through them that like it doesn't even have time to say anything or contribute anything to the conversation about that. I don't know. It just it feels like the themes are just so non-existent because it doesn't even like, it feels like it just like wants to just like skip through them in a way.
Yeah, and I mean the plot, and this is always a problem with some plots like this. It feels very, and what next, and what next. It feels like stuff,
and then
happening, and then it doesn't feel like, as I say, there isn't a narrative through line. It doesn't start in a place where you can sort of see by the end, oh, this is how we got there. It's sort of like, what happened to get there? I'm not entirely sure what is happening. Like, it's not a confusing film. It's not. But it is in a way, because it's just jumbled. It feels messy. Everything about this film just feels messy. It feels like they're layering ideas on ideas, and some of them are coming through, the majority aren't, and in the end, you've got a fairly unsatisfying product, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is like, we said this at the beginning. It's a lot better than a lot of blockbusters this year because it feels like a real film. Like, the production design is good.
Indiana Jones. It doesn't exist, that film. It doesn't exist. They made 4 Indiana Jones films.
Like the costume design, fantastic. Like, I mean, both of those would be like, Oscar nomination worthy in my opinion. Like, the production design and costumes. Like, I think that they're genuinely great.
I mean, they're very good. They're very good, and they're a lot better than a lot of sort of standard blockbuster
Right,
fare that
and like
you
it feels like, I mean, there's a lot of wide angle lenses using this. Like there are people like, for instance, like there's somebody behind the camera making choices, right?
I think
And
this film feels like it has an identity in a way that
right.
a lot
Again,
of
it,
films
it
don't.
it feels like a real film and not just like a product piece, like a lot of blockbusters do. And again, that's stepping over the bar that's on the floor for blockbusters. But
Yeah,
I don't want to be as harsh as we are with like, some of the MCU installments and things like Indiana Jones and things like that just don't even feel like the real movies. They just
try.
feel like
Yeah.
product pieces. Yeah. This
This
at
film
least
at
has
least
an
felt like,
identity.
yeah. I mean, there are elements of it where, as I say, I did feel like it was phoning it in. But as you say, in terms of the technical side of things, and even in a lot of the performances, it does feel like there is an intent to
Right.
try.
There's texture there. There's
And that means that
something.
it doesn't feel empty. It doesn't feel
Yeah,
empty. It doesn't feel completely
exactly.
flat. There is an energy there. It's a shame that that energy is matched with a lot of very uninteresting ideas and a lot of very derivative stuff. It feels in many ways sort of reflective of film like The Creator, which had some nice ideas and
Sure.
had some
Yeah.
nice visual stuffs going on. It's just the film was ended up being quite derivative. I feel like that is where that sort of quality is where
Yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
compare it to.
A film that wanted to be like a Vietnam War allegory. Yeah.
Yeah,
Another one of those.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's fine. It's not great. Hunter Schafer, why wasn't she in more of this?
Mhm.
Explain, please. What
Yeah.
happened there? Why was she only? I wanted more. But that's where we're at with the Hunger Games, the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I am going to be giving it a 4 out of 10.
I'd probably be looking at the same. I'd probably be looking at
4 out of 10.
4. Yeah, for sure.
All right. Let's briefly talk about awards. I think we're looking at maybe it can sneak in production design and costumes if it is weak, but I'm not backing it right now.
No, I mean there are potentially spaces in categories like
There's
those,
spaces, yeah.
but I wouldn't be confident. I feel like it's on the edge of
Yeah,
getting.
it's definitely in like the top 10 for both, I feel.
I also kind of think it's maybe a sort of both of them or neither of them kind of situation. Like I think
Probably.
it'd be weird to single out one of either costume design or production. I feel like they'd come together because they do work in union with one another.
Yeah, I'd agree with that generally. And then also there's song.
Yes, song I
The
think could be
Olivia.
very potential. Yeah, for sure.
I wouldn't be shocked if that happened. I mean, Olivia's like massive right now. This is I think like the first like original song really that she's put together for a project. So I could see her potentially picking up a nomination for that.
Yeah.
But I think the potential really stops there, if I'm being honest.
Agreed. It's not going to be. Yeah, it's not going to do major things.
I mean, and none of the previous films have ever even gotten a nomination, and like they probably should have for costume design.
Exactly. I don't think this is any better. I even think this is potentially a little worse than a lot of
Potentially,
the
yeah.
previous stuff. So yeah, I think it might be weird to just single out this one, but I guess
But
if
I
it
mean,
has to
again,
be,
Fantastic
and it
Beasts, right?
exactly, it would
Like,
still be worthy. It would still
like
be worthy.
that. Not a single film in the Harry Potter franchise won an Oscar, and then Fantastic Beasts won for
Yeah.
like I think it was costumes. So
Yeah.
like, I mean, it could be a similar thing with nominations where not a single one gets nominated, and then the prequel gets a nomination. So
Yeah.
it's possible. I just, yeah, as you say, I wouldn't necessarily be expecting it as of now. But I think that is it for our thoughts and opinions about the film and its awards chances. And that is all. So thank you everybody for watching. You can stick around for some more film, TV, and music content upcoming. And you can follow us on social media in the links in the description if that is something that you are interested in. But until next time, thank you again for watching. Stay safe and goodbye.